Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of From the Office to the OCHE with me, Danny Anderson, and Darren McMahon. Darren's going to do a few shout outs for the sponsors.
Big shout out to L Global for all your STEM and flight needs. We've got Ink Apparel for all your clothing needs. We've got What's the Point at www.whatsthepoint.shop for all your point needs and also dart releases. There will be a link in the bio for a % off. BVD Darts, Northern Ireland's leading dart specialist. Dart gear competitions and inclusive darts league.
There we go. They're getting longer and longer every episode, Mac. Yeah, just want to
Try to
quickly
remember
welcome. I have to welcome off the back of a great win of the weekend, David Davies. How are you, sir?
Yeah, very thanks. Yeah, I'm all right, thank you.
Good. Just we'll start on that. That was a fantastic weekend there. If you want to tell everyone what you just off the back of winning.
Yeah, to be fair, the first ADC event of the year, really. It was jam packed, over 300 players there. What they've done to the Bradmore farm is unbelievable. The setup there is unbelievable. So, yeah, to go there, I've just since the World Championship, I feel something's missing in my game, and I couldn't put my finger on it. So I went there with no expectations, really, just trying to tweak a couple of things and see how I progress, really. And just so happens I was going through the rounds quietly, winning 4-0, not really dropping legs, and then I ended up winning the first event, which is massive for the season, really.
It was, yeah. That's a fantastic win. There was some win in the final too.
Yeah, I've played Sam. Yeah, I played Sam a couple of times, and you don't expect to whitewash Sam. To be fair, he's an absolute class act, lovely lad as well. So to come away with any win would have been massive. So to come away 5-0, yeah, I'll take that any day and move on.
Because you get to watch, obviously, the Seasider, you get to see him quite a lot in the Modus, and to beat him 5-0 that's an achievement in itself.
Yeah. As I said, I've played Sam a couple of times. We've had some great battles. Sam, yeah, he's a great player. I don't think he was far off winning a tour card, if I remember rightly.
I don't think he was.
To come away with a win and move on, yeah, it was massive for me, and to put some points on the graph, if you like, ready for the season.
No, 100%, mate. It's like, even I've not been to Bradmore since it's been renovated, but I've seen videos and pictures. It is unreal, and the talent over that weekend it's there. There's 40, 50 people in there that could walk away with any one of the titles. So it's massive. Like.
Yeah, definitely. You do very well to pick a winner going into Saturday. Like you said, there's so many great players there. The last time it was at Bradmore Farm, it was getting renovated. So to see it how it was and now what it is now, it's unbelievable. It's a great venue. They've got all the sport on. There's a great big massive bar, pool table. The shop there is unbelievable, and the way it was run, the ADC lads, Adam Hunt and his team, that they've done absolutely phenomenal there. They really have.
Because our youth run a couple of weeks before that, I think, weren't they? Or our youth were on, and they said it was unbelievable. They've been just started that new one in Bristol. Is that the one? The
Hangar 61, I think.
They said
I'd say for me, Bradmore's it's got to be the best venue in the UK, and it's got to be up there. We probably want one of the best in Europe. It's that nice, and it's that well run as well.
Yeah, it really is.
Obviously, that was a good win for you there. We're going to touch back on 2025 because you kicked on in 2025, mate. Obviously, you won the WDF World Cup teams. You won Challenge Tour 18, I believe, and the Irish Open that we were talking about off there. How did it feel for you winning the World Cup, representing your country?
I think that's the best thing I've ever won. I think the proudest moment in my dad's career is putting the Welsh shirt on for the first time. So pretty much my dad used to box for Wales, so I always wanted to do something to show him that I can do something. And boxing wasn't really my forte. I don't like pain, so yeah, that quickly, that quickly fell by the wayside. So yeah, slowly got into darts and stuff. So to put that Welsh shirt on, it was massive. And then we just missed out on the Six Nations as well. We lost out to England. England were very, very good, to be fair. And then got picked to go to South Korea in the World Cup. And we played the last game and we just got through in the last leg decider. And then once we got past, I think it was Sweden, I think it was pretty much straightforward to play Japan in the final. And we've got a great, the four-man team was unbelievable. Myself, Flo, Liam Meek and Mark Challenger, we just got on so well. The team bonding was unbelievable. The banter was great all weekend, and something just clicked between us. We backed each other, we supported each other, and it paid off in the end. And to say you're a gold medalist at a World Cup is unbelievable. It really is.
No, I thought you'd have it on you. I thought you'd have it around your neck for this.
Obviously, just picking out of that what you said there, that your dad was a boxer back in the day. So what made you, and how did it all begin for you in darts rather than going down the boxing route?
Pretty much just playing in youth club. Something to do in between pool and football, really, as you do at youth club. But I wasn't really that interested. It was just something to do. And then I played for my mate in the local league here at Denby. Again, five-a-side football was my passion. I just used to play when he was short, really. And then obviously Mark Webster lives down the road from me in the same town. Pretty much, we grew up together, so really good friends. And then he used to ask me to go and play, and then I just got slowly better, really. And then too old for football, so carried on playing darts and slowly got better, playing Super League, county, and then it just built on from there, really. But practicing with Mark was a massive help.
What age did you started practicing with him?
It's probably later on in my career, so it must have been probably about 8 years ago, I reckon, 10 years ago. He just used to come round. We used to play games, and then he'd batter me 10-0 and then leave. So yeah, you can call it practice. But what's that? Sorry.
What happens now?
It's the other way around. I batter him 10-0. So yeah, it's it's fine. Yeah, no. To be fair, he's got a good gig there with commentating on all the darts now. So yeah, I wouldn't mind playing him now. But back then it was brutal. But I wasn't disheartened. I just wanted to play again. But without realising, I was picking up little tips and things like that with him. But he always says that I've got nothing to thank him for, but I don't think I'd be in a position I am now and the love for the game without him, to be honest.
No, it's nice to say. It's very modest of him that heard about it.
So at what stage of your game did you think I could actually take this serious?
It was quite weird because I used to play in the local league where I am now, and then someone said, why aren't you playing Super League? And because I wasn't really that bothered about it, I didn't know what it was. So made some inquiries and things, and then I went along. I got picked, and then I won my first game of Super League 3-0. So I've come off, and someone said, "Do you know who you've just beat?" And I didn't know anyone because I never used to play Super League, and he was actually a County A player that I beat 3-0, and he plays counties. All right, yeah, it is what it is. And then the game after, I beat another county player, and then it just slowly went on from there, really. So beating these people that I didn't know at the time, and then the word goes around and gets around, and someone said, "Have you ever thought about playing county?" I said, "No, not really. I'm just playing for the fun of it, really." So I got picked for the county team, and then you sort of get to know players and things like that. And I lost my first game of county, and then once I got my first win, the wins started coming. So probably playing County A, probably about 6 years ago, I think. That's when people said you need to go and start entering competitions. You win in a county and doing nothing with your talent. But I didn't see it as a talent. I just seen it as a game of darts on the weekend, really. I didn't know where I could go with it or what it could lead to. So I started entering more comps and slowly winning them. And I don't know, probably about 5 years ago, you think Dave, you need to do something with this because you are winning more than you're losing, really. So entered more comps and then went off from there, really. And then Wales come knocking on the door because they go off your county averages, don't they?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so went off from there. So probably about, I don't think it was one moment where you think, God, you're good. It was just over several comps of getting to quarterfinals, semi-finals, a couple of titles under your belt. And yeah, there was just a moment when, right, if you're going to do it, let's do it now kind of thing.
I feel
Well, Super League seems to be a massive, like, some Northern Ireland doesn't have a Super League. And Darren moved from Northern Ireland over to the northeast, and it's improved Darren's game massively, playing county over there and playing Super League, hasn't Darren? Like, over 100%. Here, that's what we're missing here, like, for me.
Yeah, and that's the thing, because years ago there was only one path of your local league, Super League, county, and then WDF, wasn't it? That was the BDO at the time.
BDO.
That's all. Yeah, that's all it was. So now that there's ADC have come about, and you can do so much now. There's so much money on offer. You can go to ADCs. All these vaults are playing. There's so much avenues and paths that you can take in darts now from all levels as well. So the amateur game is in such a good position. And you look at, as you said before, Mac, the standard of the ADCs in Aylesbury on the weekend is, believe it or not, it is an amateur event. But if you look at the talent in there, it's just like a challenge. So it really is. It's ridiculous.
Well, yeah. Well, Tommy was on this, and then Tommy went to that weekend and then flew out to Germany.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Yeah, I can't believe he was there on Saturday. He's playing really well at the moment, Tommy. He was unlucky in the final at Modus the other week. But yeah, he's a great lad, Tommy. I have a great laugh with him.
Man.
He's an absolute box of frogs, that lad, but I've got so much time for him.
Just while we're on Tommy, we're going to ask we always ask the last guest a question, just while we've got him on our head. His question for the next guest was, what colour is your wife's socks?
He's brilliant. He really is.
He's something else. He's actually coming back on after his Germany experience.
Each guest we get on, we get the guest before them to ask a question, and obviously Tommy wears his wife's socks at darts because it's his lucky socks.
Wow, there you go then.
I think they're pink Nike ones or something, he said. So his question, obviously we told him that you were the next guest, and he's like, ask him what colour's his wife's socks.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, we'll go with blue for today, I think.
Honestly, man, Tommy's an absolute legend, but he's as mad as a box of frogs. Like.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, but what a character. Great to be around. He's always 100%. Fun. He's always bubbly. You know, if you are feeling down and stuff, after speaking to him, you're either tired or excited. So, because he doesn't stop, does he? He doesn't stop, bless him.
No, he doesn't, mate. He doesn't. It's, classmate. But, it's, we'll go back to this ADC thing, because I think that my personal opinion is it's going to take over WDF in the next 5 to 10 years. I just can't see past it, mate. It's just the opportunities there for every amateur player up to, it's taking me from grassroots to the modest level, which is, in my eyes, a step below the PDC at the moment in time. What's your thoughts on that? Yeah,
I'd probably have to agree, because what you find now is ADC and some of the WDF tournaments, I think they're clashing. So players are picking and choosing, and more often than not, people are picking the ADC stuff. People and amateur players want to play at Modus. The waiting list for Modus is ridiculous. I know you see some of the familiar faces every series, but the waiting list at Modus, I've been there, I don't know how many times, 11, 12 times, I'm not too sure, but that stage, the building, the presence, the coverage that you get, it's unbelievable. The Modus building, like you said, the stage is probably the best amateur stage that you can play on, to be fair. But then playing on the Bradmore stage on the weekend, it's on par with it. It really is. The stage and everything and what they've done, it's very well built, but yeah, Modus is where it's on people's lips all the time. ADC and Modus, that's where the amateur game is, and that's where people want to play.
No, 100%, mate. I totally agree. And I think, again, within the next couple of years, you're going to see the ADC championships happening in Romania, happening in Turkey, happening in Spain, just like the WDF, mate, because like the money is just the money's is just as good. And obviously, you had a win at the weekend, mate, where the prize money is just as nearly as bad as good as what the WDF's paying you out. But
Yeah.
there's more entrants in the WDF, but then obviously ADC's paying that out twice because there's 2 events that day.
Mhm.
You know, so it's for me, it's a no-brainer. If they can't come together and make something work, then I think ADC is just going to be overtaking WDF very, very soon, man.
Yeah, I think so, because as you've touched on the money there, I think some of the WDF tournaments you get like 1,500 quid, something like that. And that's with travel and accommodation. You know what I mean? You've done all that, and then you win a 1,500 quid, and it's a right slog of WDF. It really is. There's so many people there, and some countries and some venues are better than others. Some are really poor, but yeah, the prize money on the weekend, yes, it's a slog, but you got 2 events. But then going off the global championship, which happened last year again at Modus, it was £60,000 for the winner. You know what I mean? It's absolutely ridiculous. And the WDF champion got 50,000. So
there we go.
yeah, you mean, so they're already paying more. And as you said, if they don't come together, then WDF might fall by the wayside.
No, 100%. It's sad to see. It will be sad to see. Obviously, going back watching when I was youngster, BDO days. Obviously, then moving into WDF. I think there's a lot of history in that one building alone. You know, so it'd be sad to see it go. But I think it could happen. I really do, man.
Yeah, and I don't know the rules or who owns it or what contract or anything like that. But
same, mate.
But then if the ADC take over the WDF, will they still use Lakeside as their grand final place? I don't know. You mean it's already there? So yeah, again, just going off Lakeside, I've got that this year, and I can't wait to play there as well.
This will be will this be your first time at Lakeside?
Yeah. Well, as a player, yeah, I went there to watch Mark. He won it in 2008, and that's probably the last time I've been there, to be fair. So I'm sure it's changed and things, but I've watched it on the telly. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, it's the first time I'll be going there to compete.
Nice, mate. Again, congratulations with that. I think as a darts player, everybody's got wee set goals, aspirations, and things they want to do. Obviously, you've ticked one off already, and then this year you'll be ticking another one off. So obviously, Ali Pali there, and now the Lakeside. So, how does that make you feel to achieve to play in the 2 locations when there's thousands of players that wish they could be doing that now?
Yeah, it's sort of a pinch me moment, really, of having that opportunity. So I always thought deep down that if I did the full WDF circuit, I could qualify for Lakeside. I could. Seeing some of the players there, which I know I'm 100 times better at, but they just do the circuit and building up points and stuff. So yeah, I was quite confident of going to play at Lakeside. But to win a gold event, I don't need to do any more WDFs now because I'm already in. Am I going to do some to build up points and be seeded? I don't know.
Are you going to the MI Open? No, Northern Ireland. Are you coming over here? No, Belfast. The Northern Ireland.
When's that? Sorry.
The end of March. First time it's been on for 5, 6, 7 years.
Oh, I don't think I've seen that one. I do like the Irish Open, so no, I'll definitely look into that. But then, yeah, qualifying for the Ali Pali, I think that's to go there with only. I think there's about 80 players. Just chancing my arm for a £90 tournament, and what you get out at the other end, it was a no-brainer for me.
How did you qualify for that?
There was just World Championship. Yeah.
World Championship, right?
Yeah, it's the first year that they've done a World Championship qualifier because it's gone to 128 players now, isn't it? And not top 64. So they put a qualifier on, and anyone who hadn't qualified could enter and challenge tour players. So I just went there quietly confident and just gone through the rounds, and I beat Shane McGurk in the final and qualified for Ali Pali.
And you got the pleasure of playing Mr. Littler.
So obviously, we're going to touch on that as well. So obviously, you've won your first round game into the last 64. You're obviously coming up against inevitably probably the best player we've seen in the past 78 years on the PDC circuit. So how did you mentally prepare for that, knowing that what you were coming up against?
Yeah, so yeah, I didn't want to bypass Mario because that was my first task. If I get ahead of myself and just think about Luke, I'm losing that first game.
Yep.
So it was preparing for Mario. It was a nice draw for me, really, because I'm on the high, I'm on the rise, and the back end of last year, Mario hasn't been playing that well. So he's on the downwards, I'm on the upwards. So it was a nice draw for me, really. I practiced really well for the Mario game, and I've got through that 3-0, to be fair. And then it is the task of Luke Littler, isn't it? Yeah, so I prepared differently for Luke than I did Mario. In a sense of for 2 days I just practiced finishing. I know that doesn't look like I did because I missed so many doubles, but for 2 days I practiced doubles because I said to myself, if you're going to have a chance of beating Luke, you've got to take your chances when they come, and that's by finishing. So I didn't do any power scoring or anything like that. I was just purely finishing, and I'm playing on bull because you might be left on 80s and 90s and 70s, and bull might be the only shot that you get. So that's how I prepared for that. And I said to my wife, I said, as long as I turn up, give him a game, and I know that he's been in a game, I said I can live with myself. I can do that. So.
And you did. You definitely did. You did.
Yeah, definitely. So at the time, I've obviously come off 3-0. I'm in the back room. I don't know if I'm gutted or disappointed. I don't know, probably a bit of both. But I'm like that. Even if me and you played head to tails, now I'm not lost, I'd be disappointed. So I would be, honestly. So yeah, I was in the back and disappointed and gutted. I missed doubles, but I've watched the game back and I've played really, really well there, and I have given a right game. And if those doubles go, I'm not saying I would have won, but it's a different mentality. And I think the longer the game goes on, he kicks in, doesn't he? So you do need to hit him early. You need to get him on him early, and that's what I did. And apart from walking off at 2-2, I thought I did pretty well.
That was a
mind tricks and everything. Can you
viral
talk
video.
us through that? Because what happens before? Does he? Everyone thinks he's took the big fish out. Is that in the same moment? So he's looked like he's hit the big fish because of the way the camera angle was.
Yeah, so I knew I knew the second treble wasn't in, so I knew I was coming back. But I thought it was 2-2 at the time, but that didn't make a difference of me hitting the double. They just didn't go in because I attacked it straight away. I went for 2 and missed 2 at double eight or double eight, double four, and then he comes back. He hits double 10, I think it is, and then the crowd are cheering. So because I already think it's 2-2, I think that's the set. So I go walk off. There's no music playing. The crowd aren't singing. I'm like, what? And then I turn around and the referee's calling me back. Dave, come back. And as I look up, it's 2-2 now, isn't it? I'm like, oh, such an idiot. So yeah, someone's made a video of me on TikTok as well. They're watching the game and I walk off and he's like, where's Dave going? Dave, come back. And it's had like thousands of views, but yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, no, what a great experience that was. It was sort of a fairy tale World Championship for me, of playing on the stage, winning, and then playing the world number one on the biggest stage in the world at prime time Sunday. Yeah, it's a feeling and experience I'll never forget.
How was he? Was he okay? Were you talking to him much? Or?
He was absolutely brilliant. I've met him before, played him before in the Isle of Man when he was 13, 14, something like that. Yeah, I beat him then, so he's had his revenge. But yeah, he was great in the back. And my stepson actually played development tour with him for a few years, so those two got on. But yeah, his parents were great. His mum offered to buy me a drink and things like that, and very chatty. In the back room, it was only me and him there, and just talking about Man United and things like that. And no, I haven't got a bad word to say about Luke. He was a real gentleman, and no, a really good sport.
Nah, classmate.
Even in the build-up, dude, you were getting on Talksport. Remember, I texted you and said that they were talking about your nickname on Talksport. There was like a poll they done. It was before. It was actually the game you were playing against. But it wasn't even Littler's game. It was the Mario game. They were and they were saying what's his name. They were called Dave. There was all these different names calling. It was him. Who was it? It was Max Frost and all them boys. It was brilliant. But for a player like you, like I was amazed. I thought that's brilliant for a local amateur player, to get
Oh,
that sort of coverage.
massive, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I was. I think I was an answer for a quiz question as well on there. And obviously the guy on it obviously doesn't know who I am, or I think it was an amateur that's qualified for the World Championship, and it went on for ages. He gave him about 50 clues because he didn't know who I was, obviously, and so it's just nice to get recognition on TalkSport as well, because I love that show. So no, it's good.
100%.
And you got a couple of lovely messages from people. I think you put one up.
Yeah, that was he called me a little schmuck, and I bet your mum's so proud or something like that, because he lost a £5 accumulator or something like that. So
mad.
Bless him.
Like,
yeah,
obviously I'm quite good friends with obviously Jamie Owens and Carol Coleman and them, and like, see the messages they get as well when they lose on the modus. It's like, why, man? I just don't understand it. Like Coley showed me a couple of the messages, and it's like, that's wild. Like, why would somebody think this guy's just lost at darts and lost me a couple of quid? I'm going to message him.
Yeah.
One, it doesn't do nothing because he's not going to get his money back. So why even waste your time, man? That's mad. Like,
yeah. Do you know what? I've been there with Conan Wyatt. He's had some bad messages. Adam Mould talking about his family and his kids and stuff, and you're like,
crazy, man.
I just don't get it. And thankfully, in touch wood, being called a little schmuck is I'll take that than what they've been
100%.
receiving anyway. So yeah.
Yeah, especially like Big Mouldy. He's one of the nicest guys you'll meet too.
Yeah, he's so down to earth. He's so family orientated. He does it all for his kids and for his family, and you can't fault that. So he's a good lad. To be fair to him,
we always like to ask the guests. We usually do it at the start, but we'll get straight into what you want at the weekend, so we'll do it now.
What's happened?
Who is the most famous person on your phone?
Oh. It's not really exciting, I don't think. It probably will just be a darts player, probably. Probably Joe Cullen or Johnny Clayton, probably. Yeah, and that's only through Mark. So yeah, probably Johnny Clayton. He's in the Premier League at the moment, isn't he? So yeah, we'll go with him.
Last night we had Stephen Bunting, so there we go. I don't know who's above.
Yeah, trumped that then, haven't I? Yeah.
Very good. Though the other question we always like to ask is, if you were to have 5, this would be interesting to hear your one. 5 dart players, past or present, to have them round to your house for a meal, who would they be?
Oh, 5 past or present. I'd have to have AD Lewis because he's my favourite player ever. Yeah, I'd have him in. I've sort of watched him. I love AD Lewis. I just want dart players that you can just have a laugh and a banter with. So I'd probably get Jockey Wilson in because he absolutely loves a sesh, that bloke, doesn't he? I'd get him in. I'd get Eric Bristow around, I think. Just for him to wind everyone up, and then they'll all argue amongst themselves, and he'll just sit back and watch it erupt, won't he? I think. How many have we got left? 2.
2 more.
Yeah. I'll get Joe Cullen around. He's good entertainment. To be fair, he's always cracking jokes. And who else I get around? I'd probably get Mark Webster around. To be fair, he's got 1,000 jokes, thousands of jokes, and probably 2 of them are good. But yeah, I'd have him around. Yeah, good entertainment. I don't know how they'd all get on with each other, but yeah, that's who I'd have around.
See, I thought you'd have had Gezi in there to bring the fish and chips.
Oh, yeah, well, I didn't know I was paying, did I? If I knew that, he could have come round. Yeah.
Fair enough. That's good. There's a couple of new names there. I said my Collins and mine, like, because I've heard Colin exhibition wise, and he's something very, very good from what I've heard. Like,
yeah, Ricky Evans is really good exhibitions as well. To be fair to him, he's very entertaining. But yeah, I love Ricky, but for a sit down meal, I think he'll have to watch through the window. I think.
That's AD and Eric Bristow in the last 2, isn't it?
Yeah, AD Lewis. Yeah,
in fact, AD's free now because
I think it is.
Tommy said to him, but as well. So I think AD Lewis is the most popular.
Yeah, do you know what? He's my favourite player. Just so fluent, and win and to win back to back is it's something special, isn't it? So yeah, unbelievable.
It'd be nice to see him coming back. I think giving it another go.
Yeah, there were talks of him going this year, but I think he's been signed by Modus now, isn't he? So
he hasn't been on Modus yet, has he? Has he been on Modus?
No, he did. He has not as an individual. He did the pairs with Steve Beaton, didn't he? In the pairs week, him and Beaton. But yeah, he hasn't been on there as an individual, which I thought he would have been by now.
No, I think that there's a lot of rumours that he was. We were talking to Guy Stone that time. Guy thought it was going to be his week. That was ages ago, like a long time.
I think he was. I think he had a date in, but I think he pulled out.
Could be. Yeah. It'd be good to get him back.
100%. Obviously, we've touched on your Ali Pally debut, mate. Let's go back to when you've back to Killarney, when you actually the weekend in Killarney, because that's when you secured your place for the Lakeside this year, isn't it? Obviously, off screen we were talking about young Mitchell Lowry. He's achieved things that darts players want to achieve, and the boy's only 15. And you had the pleasure of playing him on this Saturday, I believe.
Yeah.
That was a classic?
Yeah, It definitely wasn't the Open because that was a Sunday, but I'm sure it was the Classic. He actually won the Classic, but yeah, bouncing in between the youth upstairs and downstairs and up and down, it takes it out of you. But he was just going through like duck to water. But 15-year-old kids, they've got the energy of a Duracell bunny, haven't they? So, but
no, it's good to see. It's like you were saying, mate. Like the UK darts in the whole youth-wise is phenomenal, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. And but what a great kid Mitchell Lowry is. Very polite, very softly spoken. But yeah, he was a great competitor, and it was great to share the OCHE with him. But yeah, his mannerisms and his love for the game is something else. He's a great kid.
Not to try and compare to them, because you sort of have to. Everyone does, but you played both of them at a young age. So you played Littler then when he was 13, and then you played Mitchell there. He would have been. So what do you see familiarities, or it's hard to. I don't want to say which one do you think was better because it's a stupid question, but do you get what I mean? Like, is it?
Yeah, I think no. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Because I beat one and not the other. It's and Luke was 2 years younger at the time, but I think Mitchell Lowry was better at that age.
Yeah.
But I never played Luke at 15. He was at 13. Don't get me wrong. He was blowing up the youth game then. But Mitchell Lowry's mixing it in with the men now, isn't he? At 15, he's winning men's events and stuff. I don't think Mitchell Lowry will go on to do what Luke's done. And I'm not saying he can't do it, but Luke's different. He's unbelievable. He's got so many gears, that lad. He can win a tournament in first gear, second gear.
Yeah.
But yeah, both unbelievable talents. They really are, and Lowry's got a hell of a future ahead of him as well.
Yeah. Oh mate, to go to the Lakeside the first time, qualify for the men's final, qualify for the youth final, and then play both finals in the same day. Like,
I'd be knackered after one. Yeah, and that's the thing. He was in control of the final as well, wasn't he? Against Vanski. He was, and then once Vanski started firing in, and I don't know if it got to Mitchell Lowry or he started thinking about it. I'm not too sure, but he was in control of that as well.
Well, if you look at Danny, I think he's went. Was it? Did he go 3-0 up?
Yeah,
he did. Yeah, he did.
So I said, he's probably took a break, and the fatigue's probably set in because he just played the youth final as well. Now he's 3-0 up against.
But he'd also just been
against Jimmy Van Ski. Like, I'm like, the young guy must have just fatigued, man.
But Mac, he'd also just been Killarney. He didn't even get. I think he went here from Killarney to Gibraltar. And then Gibraltar makes it, like that was it. And he's a kid, do you know what I mean? So I think a lot of it did. Listen, then to be fair, Big Jimmy did just click in the gear too. I think that came into a factor too. But
100%. I don't think you can write Jimmy off, can you? He's
oh no, Jimmy's a great lad as well. He's a hell of a competitor, and it's not over until that double in is in, and the referee calls match, because Jimmy will just keep nibbling at you, and slowly grind you down. But what a competitor, and he's got a talk at now, so he's out of the way as well.
No, 100%. One less person to worry about, isn't it?
Yeah.
Obviously, that was the Saturday, mate. Moving on to the Sunday, you've went on to the Irish Open, mate. You've beat a fellow countryman, Ross Montgomery, in the final. Obviously, to win the Open and then secure your place at the Lakeside. How did that come in? How did that make you like? How did you feel after that? Thinking that's another thing I've done. I've ticked it off, and I'm going to the Lakeside.
Yeah, it was just it was going to be a tough game against Ross, to be fair, because and as you know, he's a hell of a competitor and he's done so much in the game as well. So you need to put aside of who you're playing and just go up there. I had a hell of a game in the semi-final, so to get through that, I did have to come off and just sit down and reflect on what's just happened, because that was a hell of a battle.
Who was that against?
Put me on the spot now, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Was it Shane?
I thought
Shane was
that was
in quarters.
to ask you that.
Was it semis? Oh, Shane was in quarters, wasn't he?
Yeah, Shane was in the quarters, yeah. I can't remember, but I think I was down 3-1 or 4-1, I think, and I won 5-4 in the semi. So, I had to come off and mentally prepare. And then to play Ross, it was nip and tuck, and then I broke him, and then I held, and then I was quietly confident then in myself that, because there's no point in breaking if you're just going to give it straight back. So if you're going to break, you need to hold and going ahead. But yeah, after it, he was great. Shook my hand. Well played. You deserve it. And just to receive that golden ticket into Lakeside, it's sort of a surreal moment that you go into a venue that you've been watching on the telly for years. You know what I mean? So yeah, to go there and actually go and play and compete, I'm looking forward to it.
Aye, no, 100%, mate. It's for me, it's the OG World Championships, isn't it? It's like that's everybody always remembers the Lakeside. Obviously, the PDC is now the prestigious one, but yeah, to even just have a chance to play there is phenomenal, mate. Phenomenal.
Yeah, really looking forward to it. And like I said, the crowd's a little bit different to the PDC, isn't it? But it's it's just one of the iconic venues. And if you look at the players that have played there and won there over the years, just to be a part of that and say you've been there and done it, it's massive for me.
100%. It also takes a burden off you as well, mate, because you're not having to go and travel to all these countries to get points to then qualify for there. So it's another burden off you. Less bit of, not going to say you stress over it, but it just takes that wee bit away from it and just lets you concentrate on playing now as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, so, definitely. Yeah, and that's the thing of that's probably why I went to Q School half-hearted. Of, do I want to talk hard? I don't know, because I've got so much to go at this year. I do want to play in the global, the ADC. I do want to play for my country, and I do want to play at Lakeside. So I had a great plan B, a backup plan, which I do think, I'm being realistic with you boys, is that I think my plan B was stronger than my plan A, to be honest.
Yeah, fair enough. Just to go back to the words, just while we've got someone on that's been on it, take us through the first day, like the morning, like behind the scenes. Like, is there anything that you expect, like something that not a lot of people will be able to see or do? So, like, what happens that morning? When you get there? Or is there anything different than normal?
I got dropped off. I didn't know what to expect or where to go, or what to do. To be fair, so we went to the wrong entrance. We got told where to go, and then I got dropped off. And then I'm just there by myself. There's no one around, and I'm like, I don't know which door to knock, who to see, who to ring. No, nothing. You just look like a lost boy in a sweet shop. You know what I mean? You're just like, what am I doing here? And then I walked around one of the corners, and Mario was already there. And obviously he's been there before, so I was just keeping my distance and just keeping an eye where he was going and just trying to follow him, really, without him realizing I was stalking him, trying to get in. So yeah, so we yeah, pretty much, yeah. So anyway, we got into the building, and then there was a couple of security guards here and there, and I just want to say the security team at Ali Pali were absolutely fantastic. They walked you around. They knew it was my first time, and they helped me. They showed me absolutely everything. They were absolutely fantastic. I can't praise them enough. It made me feel at ease and welcome, and being part of the building heritage. They were really, really good. So once we got into the players' lounge, you sort of put your table down. Then you don't know what to do, where to practice, or you know what I mean. It was only me and Mario in the room. It was just all I did was they gave you a program, and I just sat there and just took the players' lounge in and reading the program really, because I got there 3.5 hours before playing, so I was just soaking it up really. I wanted to get there early because I might not never be there again. I don't know. So it was so I just started practicing, and you have to go and do a load of media stuff. Then they want to do your photos for Sky, they want to do photos for the PDC, go and do a couple of interviews, and then again the security guards were walking you to go and get your photos, go and do interviews. They were brilliant. And then I just put my headphones in and I just practiced for, I think it was for about 2 hours. And then my family and friends came in. They were allowed in the players lounge, and I think seeing familiar faces in that surrounding, it was like, right, relax now.
Okay.
There's someone here that you know, and things like that. So yeah, it was a great experience being in the back. And then you go. Oh, I was first game on, wasn't I, on the Saturday? So they take you to the practice room. There's only you and Mario there. And because Mario was obviously seeded, I go out first. So they walk you out, and then you just hear the roar of the crowd and things like that. Yeah. So sorry, before this, we went on stage for 5-10 minutes just for, I don't know, 15, 18 darts, just have a feel of it without the crowd in.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah. So to stand on the stage, turn around with no one there, you think, wow, this is going loud later on. So yeah, you come off you come off the stage, and then you do your practice and stuff. So yeah, we're in the back, and then they said, David, 5 minutes, and you're like, oh my god, it's happening now. You know what I mean? So yeah, quick a nervous toilet break, and then standing on the ramp, and you just hear the roar, and people asking you to sign stuff and ask for a photo. It was really nice because I've never had that before, especially in that environment, and people shouting your name and stuff. So, and then your music starts playing, and then all the nerves just go, and you go down, you see your family at the end, and then to stand on the stage while it's full compared to empty, and it's really loud in there. It really is. But I'll never forget just standing there. You've got those sparklers on the stage going off. People are looking at you, waving Welsh flags, and it's a moment that I'll never forget. And you just want to put a performance in, and I did that on the Saturday.
You did. You also did it against Littler. Before you did.
100%.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. You won, but that's like I give me goosebumps there. Like that's amazing.
100%. I was just sitting here thinking, wow, man, that's class.
Yeah, like even my favorite part of any walking is when they go to the family. What you just said there at the very bottom, on the left hand side or whatever. It's,
yeah, well, funny enough, you get in the first round, you get three tickets as part of your bundle, if you like, and then you can invite friends, which you get tickets through and all that stuff. But yeah, so the 3 tickets were my wife, my stepson, and I've got a 12-year-old daughter who's upstairs in bed. She's I said, I've got you a ticket. She went, I'm not coming. I was like, what? She went, no, I'm not bothered. Yeah, so she didn't come. So a friend of mine, Stu Butler, he came with us. She wasn't bothered or anything. I'm like, I might lose and might never be here again, and you've missed it. So I don't really think she knew what was happening. So so I've won the first game. She knows I'm playing Luke the next game, and she went, "Is that ticket still available for second round?" Right, okay. So that just goes to show that she wasn't bothered about me playing. She wanted to go see Luke, and she went, "No, it's not that." Yeah, she said, "No, it's not that at all." I said, "What is it then?" Well, he's friends with Angry Ginge, isn't he? I was like, Jesus, it just gets better than it. So she used me for a ticket to see Angry Ginge, and he didn't turn up anyway. So yeah, so she had to stand there and watch me play.
Was Webby there? Was Webby there when you were just out of curiosity?
Yeah, so Webby was in he was in the commentator's box when I played my first game. As I was coming off, my friends and family were cheering in the family area, and then as you look up, the commentator's box there, and Webby's in the window giving it loads of this. So that was really good.
It was proud moment for him too, because he's helped you. I know he doesn't.
Oh, massive, yeah. And then in the Luke game, him and Wayne Mardle were commentating on my game.
Very good.
So yeah, it's mad to think that we used to practice together 10 years ago, and we'd never have thought back then that he'd be commentating and I'd be playing. Yeah. If someone would have said that, you would have called him a liar. So yeah, it was nice for Mark to commentate on one of my games there.
Obviously, we're talking about the biggest thing you've done in your life now. Have you any, before you walk on, have you any superstitions that you do beforehand?
It probably starts in the hotel room. It's quite weird that I put my left sock on my right sock, and then my left shoe, my right shoe. It's weird. I don't know what it is, but I always put my left right on.
It seems to be something to do with feet or something. But the player, he's the same. He does something. He wears something familiar. He wears
my lucky socks.
Tommy's
yeah, it's
wearing
weird.
Wife socks. Yeah,
it's weird, and I can only wear like a certain an Under Armour sports sock because they just feel fitted to my feet. It's weird, and then I do some weird stretches with my arms to make sure that they're all loose. So once I've done my left right, I do this silly little stretch thing. Then I know I'm prepared. But then I've got a practice regime that I do before playing. I wouldn't say that's superstition. I think that's just more preparation. I think. Yeah. And then I think it's about 5 minutes before whoever I'm around, I always say just going for a nervous wee. It's not a nervous one. I don't know. I've just said it for years, so I just keep doing it. But yeah, it's weird. But some of the stuff you see and some of the stories that what players do, you're like, does that even work? But yeah, it's a mental game. It really is. And if you can control and power your head, you're doing really well. But yeah, it's such a head mindset game. It really is.
That's a question that we ask every guest, and we'll segue into it there. What percentage do you think is talent, and what percentage is mental in darts?
You see it all the time, don't you? On all the stages of what people are going through, and because it's a lonely sport. It really is, traveling up and down the country, and I'm just an amateur, so for me, traveling up and down the country, that's tiring. Living out of a bag, living out of a suitcase, eating takeaways, having one or two shandies here and there. I can only imagine what the pros are doing, going to Holland, Germany, Bahrain. You know what I mean? I'm only scratching the surface. These guys are in the thick of it. So yeah, it's and up there, if things aren't going well, you've got no one to turn to, you've got no one to help. It's just you, isn't it? And then I always wondered what happens at intervals when you go down the steps and turn right.
Yeah, sure that is.
Yeah, so I always wondered what happened there. Is there someone there you can talk to or anything like that? But you're just in a porter cabin with one chair in the middle. So it's like,
you liked it that much, you tried to do it in the middle of the match.
Well, yeah, you know what I mean? I need to sit down, don't I? So yeah, it's going off there. But yeah,
that's all it is.
Yeah, that's all it is, mate. Pretty much one chair in a cubicle, and then you got some toilets further along if you do need. So yeah, if you can master the head thought and what you do, yeah, I think it. Don't get me wrong, you do have to be talented because it is one hell of a tricky sport to conquer and master, and even the best in the world, they're still learning the game.
Of course,
they really are. So, but mentally, some of them are going for help for therapy and psychologists and all these things, aren't they? So it just goes to prove on how much it is a mess up head situation, I think.
It is, yeah.
No, 100%. 100%. It's just like boxing, isn't it? It's a lonely sport once you're through the ropes and boxing. That's you yourself as well.
Yeah.
You've got 3
it
minutes.
Really is.
3 minutes to do what you do, and then you can talk to somebody. So it's a lonely sport, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, we'll wrap it up soon. Just another couple of questions. Just would you like to? The next guest. We don't know who the next guest is going to be. They're changing all the time. It's been a wee rescheduled. So, just if you could ask a question to the next guest, what would it be?
Yeah. You don't know who it's going to be, no?
No.
I don't know. Because we've went specific before, and then yours changed, and then they've all changed around. So we don't want to say.
Right. Okay. It's a bit rude. No, I can't answer that. We'll go with your top three singers to go camping with. Okay, we'll just keep it simple.
I like that.
I like
Here, we've got Tommy coming back on. Of your question when he asks, you want us to ask him then to reverse yours. He's coming back on.
Yeah.
Anything else, Darren?
No, I just want to say, Di, thanks very much for your time, mate. I know
No problems
it's
at all.
It's late at night, taking away from the wife and kids, mate. But thank you, mate. Wish you all the best for this year, mate. And I'll hopefully see you at the end of March in Leicester, mate.
Yeah, no problems at all. And yeah, if you need me back on anytime, just drop us a message. I'll be happy to come on. No problem.
Appreciate it, David. Honestly, thanks for getting back. You're one of the first to get back when we're talking about this at Christmas, so I do appreciate it. Thank you very much, and good luck with
Yeah,
everything
no
you're doing.
problems at all, boys. No, it's a pleasure.
Thank you, sir. All right, everyone.
Cheers,
mate. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.